pasta. If you haven't noticed, I make a lot of it because it is one of my main food groups. I cannot have a meal without pasta, rice, potatoes, something of the sorts. I don't feel full. I know, my mom gets on to me for it all the time. Sorry, Mom. So yeah, today we're gonna talk about pasta. I'm gonna show you how to make pasta. I got a pasta maker for Christmas. Thank you, Mom. Super excited to use it. I've never used one before, so this is gonna be a learning experience for both of us if you've never used one before either. I'm gonna give you some tips on how to make pasta yourself if you don't have a pasta maker, because that's been my life up until this moment. We're going to basically figure this thing out on our own together. Okay, these are the things that you're gonna need to make your pasta. I'm in Colorado. I have learned very quickly I'm gonna need a lot more eggs here in Colorado than I would in Florida, where it's super humid and wet in the air. So today I'm going to be using about 1 cup of semolina flour. The brand is Bob's Red Mill, and 1 cup of all-purpose flour, King Arthur's brand. I'm also gonna be using about 2-ish teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm an eyeballer when it comes to cooking. And anywhere between 12 to 18 egg yolks. We're gonna separate the yolks from the whites. Some people put water in their pasta. Some people put olive oil in their pasta. Some people put whatever in their pasta. I'm going to use just yolks. I'm going to do my best to try and make it as silky smooth as possible. Some tips for you before we get started is when you are rolling out your dough, if you are rolling it out by hand, you're going to be putting in a lot of muscle work because you need to get it so thin that it's almost transparent, where you can see your hand come through it. Not come through it, but you know, you can see your hand move whenever you hold it. You'll see. We're going to do some laminating. We're going to take some parsley. We're going to lay it between the layers of the pasta, and we're going to roll it through this puppy, and it's going to be laminated throughout the pasta, and it's going to look gorgeous. It's gonna look really pretty with like lasagna or fettuccine, and you just have these really pretty ribbons of parsley coming through it. I'm gonna show you how to make lasagna noodles, how to make fettuccine, spaghetti, and bow tie. So we're gonna be busy, but it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time. So what you're gonna need is 1 cup of semolina flour, 1 cup of regular flour. It is still possible to make pasta-able. Sorry, I had to. It is still possible to make pasta with just regular all-purpose flour. It's just gonna be a different texture. Semolina flour adds a little more texture to it. It's really good for like pizza dough, flatbread, things like that. You also are gonna need anywhere between 12 to 18 eggs, and you're gonna want them to be about room temperature. If you're like, oh crap, I forgot to set my eggs out this morning for me to be able to make my pasta, I have a trick where you just need to run a little bit of warm water over them for about 10 minutes, and they'll come down in temperature. I do that with baking a lot. It's totally fine. We're gonna cook these eggs anyway in the pasta, so yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's just get started. Okay, we're gonna separate our egg whites from our yolks right now. I talked about this tip in one of my previous videos about the fattest part of the egg. This part of the egg right here. See how it's the fattest part? Crack right there. And you're gonna get a cleaner break, and it's gonna be a lot easier for you to separate. I suggest if you're a baller on a budget, use like less egg and add some water. It's gonna give you a little bit more of elasticity. It's gonna be a little bit chewier, but it's still gonna be perfectly fine. It's gonna be still absolutely delicious. I crack 1 million eggs a day at work, so I just separate the yolk from the whites with my fingers. You just gently scoop it out of the bowl, the yolk, cradle it between your hands, and then the whites just kind of drop into the bowl. Make sure your hands are super clean, or you're wearing gloves, one or the other. My hands are super duper clean. See? Super clean break because I broke it right in the fattest part of the egg. Scoop the yolk and my eggs. I had them soaking, like running in the water for maybe 10 minutes, and they're already room temp, and they're so easy to separate from the whites. You have to be super gentle, extremely gentle when you are trying to separate your yolks from your whites, because you don't want to break that yolk. Also, the amount of eggs that you use depends on the size of your eggs. Sometimes eggs are smaller than usual. Sometimes your large eggs turn out to be medium eggs and you need to use more than you would usually. There's no problem in that. It's just learning how the dough is supposed to feel and making sure you roll it out thin enough. I almost broke that yolk. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna flex real quick and show you. I killed that. Always clean up as soon as you're done. With whatever step you're on, just clean up after yourself. It makes your end job so much easier. Either toss your eggs immediately or save them for compost. Okay, you gotta see this. I'm gonna flex. Okay, and you can save these egg whites for so many different things. You can make a souffle, you can make a meringue, you can make egg white quiche, you can make cake, you can make cupcakes, cookies, you can make pound cake, angel food cake, all that. So set your whites aside. You don't need those for this. We have our yolks, we have our flours. Two flours, the semolina flour and the all-purpose flour. I already mixed them together. If you're not used to using a clean counter, and I said clean counter, you can use a bowl. That's totally fine. I'm gonna use my counter space because I don't want to dirty up a bowl. Why dirty a bowl whenever I can dirty up a counter? Anyways, so I'm gonna just go ahead and toss all this flour on here. And if you end up not using all of your yolks, that's totally fine. You can use them for other things. You can make a sauce for a pasta that you're gonna use these noodles for. You can make a hollandaise sauce. You can do a bunch of things with it. Okay, got that all nice and mixed together. I need to salt it first. Do about 2 teaspoons. Now make a little well in the middle and just start adding your yolks. And you're just gonna start stirring it in the center. Make sure you're not breaking a wall. about 30 minutes. Kind of just give it time to breathe and give me time to breathe. And we'll be back and we'll roll it out and start laminating and playing around with the dough. We're back. Hands are clean. We're gonna quarter this to make our job easier. And honestly, this whole entire thing is not gonna fit through this little tiny thing. Put the rest of it back in this bag so it doesn't dry out. Okay. This is a mixture of semolina and all-purpose. Just gonna, it's a lot easier to work with now too, now that it's rest. I'm gonna guess we're gonna have to work with making sure the width of this doesn't get too wide to fit through this when we're rolling it through, so we're gonna have to keep monitoring that. We're gonna do the lasagna first, so let's laminate. I have some pre-washed fresh parsley right here. We're just gonna delicately lay some pieces of the parsley throughout the rolled out dough. I'm getting really nice big pieces like this. And you can do this with other herbs too. Basil would be really pretty, really nice. This is gonna be too thick to run through there, so I'm gonna trim the edges nice and even, all totally even. Okay, and now we're left with this. It looks like a nice thick dumpling almost, and I have this set to the highest setting, so it's on 7 right now. This might be too thick, we'll find out. Nope, there it goes. Lay it back. Just kind of keep it straight. Start laminating the pasta. And what I'm doing is basically just laying the whole leaf on a whole half of this pasta, and then I'm going to fold this over, laminate it, and roll this out. Get it nice and tight in there. So we need to go back up to a 7. having too much fun by myself. Oh, it smells great too. Alright, I'm gonna toss a little bit of the Bob's Red Mill semolina flour. I'll let you see the package so you know what it looks like. So I got it at King Soopers. Which I know my Florida peeps are like, King Soopers, what the heck is that? I was thinking the same thing. You can probably get it at Publix or somewhere like that, Fresh Market. You can definitely find a brand of semolina flour at one of those places. And I'm just gonna keep making a bunch of spaghetti because I'm going to be making us a bang bang shrimp spaghetti for dinner tonight. So that'll be my next tutorial. This is how you make homemade pasta. I hope that you learned something today. I definitely did, especially with this pasta maker. I couldn't thank y'all enough for even stopping by and watching this. And I hope that you will like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends, make this pasta, make it with me. I'm just thankful you watched. Have a great night. Thank you.